Wasabi, welcome back to the channel. We've got a battle on Prok with CaptainOz from Juicy Clan, and he's in the platoon with Toddy from Lemon Clan. Carrying Toddy's in the medical, and Captain is DBB 152. This is a check TD tier 10. We've got a tier 9-10 battle, and it's top tier. The alpha on this gun is just outrageous. So average damage 800, so can do up to 1000 when you roll high. The heat round can pen at 330, which is sort of a balancing thing. It's not the highest pen in the game. What is it? Look at that. Average pen 76 here, so not fantastic, but a bit for soft targets. Alright, what else has he got? So he's got bounty gun rammer, he's got the improved naming price that event. So managed to get 1022 out of that shot. That's just impressive. That's V4005. Squishy. Now this is the trick. Most of you have probably learned by now. Shooting this tree right on the opposite edge of the battle map, but falls the right way, you get that bit extra camo. So pushing up here, big place for TVs to be, of course, so Artie might be pre-aimed, and that's just something to be careful of. And now, a bit of a waiting game here. There's the Artie 75. Can you get a shot on it? Critical hit. That's not what you want to see. Armor not hit. Now, quick look at the pen on the standard round just to be sure. 280, and that's the close range across to 261, of course. Contending here. Seems to have gone over the top. It's a bit unfortunate. They only get spotted there and shot at by an object 452K. So, build lit at the moment. Of course, you're on for 10 seconds at least. And something to be careful of. Spot Artie coming back, I'm sure. And 75 there, firing a blind shot into this area here. So 452K might pop up again, pitching something up this way. Alright, so typical Prok game. The first team that pushes hard tends to really throw their hand away. Toddy is right up in the face of any push there, the object 705, also quite forward, but right on the midline of the map. And a bit of an insulting and derogatory term there from the E5 player. His real name, or I'll check that in the battle results to see who the player is, but yeah, not a really nice thing to say about players, particularly if you're on their health. You can see he's lost nearly all of his health, so it's obviously a bit salty there. Gets rid of his 75. That's handy. But back to Prok, yes, so first team that pushes hard tends to fail. So it's always going to be a bit of a balancing factor, and it does tend to lead to some drawn-out games on this map, or tree falls. Now that's where the left line was. CaptainOz fires into that spot, and he gets lit again. So there's the Tessac on the enemy side. He's clearly in a fairly advanced position. And there comes the Artie. Now, luckily that wasn't a huge bit of damage there, but he's down to getting close to half his damage, hit point total I should say. But, Toddy is still at full health, and no one seems to have spotted the bush that he's in. He's right at the middle. If he gets spotted, he's going to probably cop a bit of a beating trying to run away, but anyway, keep an eye on that. Toddy is a ANZ Premier League player, and that was on, so we know he's a good player. but here we are in the slow period. Now, we are just 1/3 of the way through the battle time. The team is pushing up a little bit, but losing health as they do. Waiting for the enemy to basically do the same thing, to punish them. Team has lost over 3,000 hit points more than the enemy side. That's not a good sign. That continues, and the Centurion 7-1 in the centre is getting punished. So clearly being spotted, and again the Tessa probably the spotter there. Or this the 5-2, and takes a quick snapshot there. Doesn't fully aim, but does land, and it's a nice 718, and there's the incoming round from the 5-2K. Misses him by a wide amount, but that's okay. So it just means that he wasn't quite paying attention to the issue. And the round comes in. Just a target. FV. And he changed at the last moment there to the target. And probably missed the opportunity there to 215-183. But Toddy managed to take out the Tessak. Now Tessak was on low health, so he doesn't pick up a lot of hit points from that necessarily, but takes out the only light tank on the enemy side. Gives his team an advantage. There you go. Gets a nice round average, exactly 800 hit points of damage out of the Centurion Action X. It's not accessible. But, just scanning for targets. There's plenty of targets lit up, and this is the enemy pushing a bit. Now 452K. That worth taking a shot? Yes, it is. Just came up enough to offer the live plate and give me angling. That was definitely worthwhile. Alright, CaptainOz on the move, so decided that it's not going to get enough out of that particular spot. It's worth coming across here. Slightly risky, but 7 crossing there, and it hit, but only damage now. 7 can lead a bit of a lucky life with spaced armour, so if you find heat shells that can be problematic. Get in the right spot. Just looking for a line on him. No outline at all, so he's behind cover. The reason you can take this risk, of course, is the Tessak is blind, so it's not really a close spotter. But Toddy just moving up the bushes there as he can. Just moving around, just like some blind spot shots coming in. And he's going to dodge. CaptainOz checking out the targets. And again, the enemy seems to have gone quiet here in terms of their push. Mistake on the enemy side there. CaptainOz's team is really down on hit points now. There's seriously half the hit points on the enemy team, so we're paying attention. We might just try and reinforce one side of the map and push hard. Now they are coming down the railway line there. So I guess the thing is to try not lose ground on this side and try and defend when they come across that railway line. As long as you've got some spotting, that's not necessarily a difficult thing. We see there starting to cross the field, and he does land a shot on the I-7. CaptainOz takes the risk and pulls back as soon as he does. You can see the alpha damage of the DBV just paying off here. He's already off nearly 5k of damage here. That's really Centurion Action X. And that does bring up his 5k. Starting to pull some of these hit points back, and again this is now pushing in, thinking they've got a significant advantage, but also potentially throwing away their hand. MBY. Just a critical hit there. It does pick up all of the assisted damage from the tracking. That MBY gets taken out as a result. Using a handy 700 of assisted. 230, and this time he hits it. It's an interesting little effect on the end of the barrel of the DP reader. I haven't noticed that before. Flame coming out. It's not something you see all the time, but to zoom out. TC Mark 1 gets taken out, but not before CaptainOz gets a nice hit into it. So his damage total is climbing here, 6.8k. The I-7 in the middle there. And the E-50 in the corner. I guess that's where those shots were going. The I-7 just popping up, just showing part of the turret. Only on 24 hit points. So not requiring a big hit here. CaptainOz just wary of that 452k to his left. The strip takes out their out here now. How did that happen? That's interesting. Must have been spotted perhaps by the I-7, and that's unlikely. Remaining arty takes out the I-7, so that's a bonus now. They still control a decent part of the map. This 452 is going to have to come up. He does that, and CaptainOz takes him out, so gets the right result there. Takes him over 7k. So CaptainOz having a good game here. They still need to win though. Things have come back pretty much to even level. There's the Struve. He should be able to get a nice shot in. Does. 851, very nice total there, and his damage total is climbing here. This could be a very high damage game here, or it is most terms, but chance to get 10k, it's on the cards here. There's 3,406 hit points left that we know about, so points are on the offering. Well, there's their fee, so he still has all his hit points, that's good. And he gets 822 out of that, that brings him to 9k. Gets some more assisted damage there. Starting to fold in and out. There's only 1,400 left. Just needs another 800 or less than 800 hit points, and he's got 10k battle, which would be just awesome. This is a pretty rare event in a lot of ways. Takes out the M53 and 55. That's 9.7k. And now there's just the E50 and one remaining arty. He just needs 300 hit points. Oh, this would be nerve-wracking. As CaptainOz, so he's charging towards the middle of the field. Toddy, of course, is in his platoon, and they'll be on voice comms. And they've spotted the E50. That's all he needs, actually, is the 300 odd hit points that the E50's got. Toddy will try and not fire at him. So Toddy might have lost some hit points there, but CaptainOz coming up here. Going to come up on the side of this E50. He's going to aim in a little bit as he takes the shot. That's the kill. That's 10k. There's only the arty left, which is not going to be a lot of hit points, but 10k, that is the goal. The goal is up on the hill. I don't think he'll get low in time to go for the arty. In fact, he's taking out to 57 hit points already. Totally takes him out. That's the end of the game, but CaptainOz has got 10k. That is an excellent result. Let's go and look at the details. What did it cost him? Got a combined total of 12.6k. That's going to really bump up his stats there. I think he's got 2 marks on that vehicle already, so that'll very much help him with getting his 3rd mark. 6 kills. That's given him the Top Gun, of course. The 10k has earned him the High Calibre award, not surprisingly. And being in the platoon, they've got the crucial contribution for the number of kills they've got, and he's picked up the Confederate award as well. So that's a lot of special medals there, and of course the Ace Tanker Mastery badge. Now let's have a look at the team score here. Okay, Toddy's actually finished on top there with 1348, so most likely, but not guaranteed, to be an Ace Tanker in the Mandy Corps. It's a pretty tough tank to get an ace in. So many good players playing it. CaptainOz picking up a 1254 base experience, enough to get the Ace Tanker in this particular vehicle, but of course, you know, most of these ones will be getting slightly lower because they're giving up spotting EXP to the spotters, of course, so sharing EXP with the spotters, I should say. But 10,053 hit points of damage, that is just the most awesome number you can see, particularly if it's got your name against it. And that was a big carry there in the end. That between Toddy and CaptainOz, they both got a total of 9 kills. And look at Toddy's damage total there, 179 for 3 kills. So each of them just giving, you know, tens of hit points of damage. But that's what light tanks do. End of game, just polish tanks off at low health. So what did Toddy get though? He got 12.8k of spotting damage there. So awesome game from Toddy as well. Just using his knowledge of the map and the ability to stay out of danger as long as possible to advantage. Right, the enemy side, the Strib picked up 4k. The MVY did over 5k. He'd be pretty upset with the rest of the team. Those two players really did the most damage. No one else did a whole lot. Expect the E50 have done a bit more, but yeah, obviously not mixing it too much. But anyway, that's enough about the enemy team. This is all about CaptainOz. So let's have a look at how it worked out financially. So he's ended up firing 23 shots. It's rather a lot for that large caliber gun. 18 hits, but gave 14 penetrations. And that gave his damage total, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. Cost-wise, he did have the platoon bonus, and that can really make a major impact there. He wasn't running personal reserves, but even with the cost of ammo that he ran, he made a very tidy profit, 107k at tier 10. That is not to be sneezed at. Anyway, great game there for CaptainOz. Thanks very much for supplying the content. If you're watching this, I hope you enjoyed it and you got something out of it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You're more than welcome to give it a thumbs down, but if you do, I'd see if I can trouble you to leave a comment as to why you don't like it. Maybe you don't like the tank, maybe you don't like the video. Doesn't really matter. Always appreciate the feedback. Anyway, we'll have more great content to follow after that. Sometimes hard to believe, but it's true. Thanks very much for watching.